Hey guys, welcome to our Unit 3 lecture. Today what we're going to be covering are cells. So we've so far talked about atoms, right? Remember way back. And remember that atoms are what make up, oh, that is huge, huh? Hold on a second there. So remember, atoms, right, they make up everything. Okay? But atoms, right, they don't equal cells. Okay? Atoms might make up cells, but atoms and cells themselves are very different things. Okay? And so this is kind of what I want you guys to think about. I want you to take some time, um, pause the video for these questions. And I'm only writing this because I know some people are not wearing headphones right now. All right, so pause the video, answer these questions, and then come back and I'm going to answer them for you. All right, great. So you should have paused the video and answered these, all right? And again, if your answer is right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to get your mind thinking. Okay, so the smallest part of a living thing that is considered to be alive, this is exactly what a cell is. Okay, and I want to point out that atoms are not alive. Okay, atoms might be the smallest form of matter, but it's a cell, right? All of the components inside this cell which make it the smallest living thing that is still considered alive. Is a leaf alive? The short answer for right now is yes. We're going to go into more detail soon. Okay. Is a big toe alive? Yes. And for that same reasoning. The next question says, can we keep dividing living things into smaller and smaller parts? Or is there a point at which what's left is no longer alive? This is the case. All right, if we remove certain components from cells, they're not actually going to have the necessary parts in order to metabolize and grow. And what you guys are going to find out in this lesson is that being able to metabolize food for energy and being able to grow are two very important characteristics in being alive. Okay, so cell theory. This is something I definitely want you guys to know. Cell theory. Remember this. All right, this is just a very important thing in biology because the entire study of life begins at the cellular level. And this idea that cells are the smallest living things is very important. Okay, so as I just said, cells are the smallest living unit. Okay, and all living things are made up of cells. So again, examples include animals, trees, even bacteria, again, not rocks, rubber, right, cars, etc. Right? And we're going to go into why this is, but these are examples of what is alive and what's not alive. And so, like I said, this includes animals, includes plants, and anything that is able to metabolize food and grow. And metabolize basically means break down for energy. Okay, and if you think about this definition, and again, this is super important, able to metabolize food and grow. Okay, now what food means can be very different, right? Food to plants is sunlight, while food to us is meat, it's bread, it's all that kind of stuff, right? But anything that is able to metabolize and it's able to grow, we consider that to be alive. And I just want to point out, rocks can't eat and grow, rubber can't eat and grow, cars can't eat and grow, but animals, trees, and bacteria, they all can. Okay, so they're meeting our definition of what it means to be alive. All right, and the last point, and something that we're going to get into in the near future, but not right now, is that new cells are actually produced from existing cells. And this has many complications. We will learn about. And what I've done, if you look over here on the right, is I've just put some pretty cool photos of what these cells actually look like. So this is just your typical animal cell. Okay, and you have a bunch of different organelles. That's mitochondria. What over here, we call this the Golgi apparatus. This here is the nucleus. This is the endoplasmic reticulum that surrounds the nucleus. And all of these things are able to leave the cell by vesicles. Okay, and so that's a typical cell. And what we're looking at beneath it, this is actually really cool. So you can see that we still have the outline of what is one cell, but what's about to happen, you're going to see I make this perforated mark, is that these two cells are going to end up splitting into two. One is going to go up, one is going to go to the bottom, and then this perforation in between them is going to eventually split, and you're going to have one cell and another cell. But again, they all came from one existing cell, which meets our cell theory hypothesis. Okay, and then what I put down here are just some more cool pictures. Again, cells look very different depending on what we're looking at them from. Right here, these are yeast cells. And yeast, we use this to make bread. Okay, and those are really cool. And then what we're looking at over here again is just another cell division. So you can see right here that this cell wants to go this way, and that this part of the cell wants to go that way, and then it ends up dividing into two different cells. That's really cool. And then lastly, these are actually eggs. Now, you're probably envisioning, right, the eggs that you cook and eat, but what I'm referring to when I say eggs here are that these are the cells, right, that are in females that allow them to have babies, right? A sperm can penetrate this egg and it can make a zygote into a gamete, and all of a sudden you have a living being inside of you. These are all cells. They're all capable of metabolizing energy, and they're all capable of growing. All right, and at the end of the day, those are the two most important things to remember. Are you able to metabolize? Are you able to grow? If yes, you're a cell. If no, you're not alive. All right, I hope that all made sense. You guys have some quick work to do after this, but this is a very introductory lesson into what we are going to be learning in this unit. I hope you guys like it a lot, and we're going to spend a lot more time with cells and microscopes and stuff, and I think it's going to be a really interesting chapter for you. So enjoy your group work and have a great day.